morning. It's about 2:30 in the morning here in Pittsburgh. About an hour and a half early, so I can get a little done before I go into my job. Probably thinking, okay, where's the eggplant? I don't see no stinking eggplant. And you won't, unless you're me. Because I'm the one that used that as my motivation. It's more a thing of shape, flow. At this point, I'm just straightening things up, getting them the thickness that I want. I'll go in and add design elements and textures and crispen the whole thing up a little bit more. And then, excuse me. And then I'll go into my smoothing and coloring for the slip, the first stage of it. And then let it dry a little more, and then go into the final coloring and smoothing. Now, to do one like this, like the first couple I did, based on like work I've done in the past and other mediums, something like this would take me about maybe 2 or 3 hours. This is the amount of detail that I intend on putting in this piece. Keep my fingers slightly damp, and I'm trying not to add too much more moisture to the clay. Just enough to make it smooth and fly where I want it to go. That's a word. Remember what time it is. I have a tendency when I'm working on stuff to only view it from one angle. And I don't really try to change that too much, because I figure that I try to work at the same angle that people will be looking at the piece. Keeping that in mind. Although of course they'll be seeing it from other angles, I do look around, but mostly I work from one side, or from one angle. And then sort of go in and make sure it doesn't look really inappropriate from, other angles. Sorry if it seems like it's spinning around a lot, but I like to keep it moving while I'm working on it. once it hits that leather stage too, again, that's when I'll be doing my final slip and carving. You know, I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, you know, where I'm going to be carving it once it hits that leather stage. And then after I carve, then I do again, like I said, I do my final smoothing. And I worry about the color actually last. Well, not totally true. I mean, I think about the color while I'm smoothing, obviously, because I'm trying to use the same color slip. Read some interesting things about the slip on the internet the other day, talking about, you know, using the clay that you made the pot out of for the slip, and saying that that's really not a good idea. It might seem to be a good idea at first, but because you're adding other ingredients, the idea is the same endpoint. If you start with the same clay, put in the materials that you need to make it flow and dry at a different rate and all that, and absorption, and you're worried about all those things, then you've started at a point where, you know, you're going to end up somewhere away from that point, basically. But I don't, when I use the same clay, I don't use it for the purpose of slip. I use it more as like a slurry, as a smoothing. You know, with as much moderation as I can without adding too much moisture. Basically like wetting your hands when you're working with the pot on the wheel, except I'm using a brush and slip without the colorants, because that's the other thing that can change the, you know, the heat reaction I think it's going to have to heat. For this video.